This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He is the host of The Fine Print, a Ramsey Networks production on podcast that has just ended its first season. There are, 10, 12 episodes?
Yeah, we got 11.
11?
We had a bonus one for the Barred Future documentary release.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Well, be sure and check that out, folks. There's a little bit of everything there. When you read the fine print, you will know why you're getting screwed. George will help you do that.
Can't say it's a feel-good show, but
it
feels better.
It feels good to avoid pain, and you're good at helping them do that. So there we go. Hey, you guys want to talk about your life, your money, your work, your relationships? We're here to help. It's what we do on The Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Ryan is in Bismarck, North Dakota. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, I'll start with that. I just need to know kind of what to do. So right now I make about $25,000 a year, and I am getting government assistance from Medicaid and food stamps and government housing and stuff like that. And if I make any more, then all of that goes away. And if I make more, then I have to cover all of that, which would be about $1,500 a month, roughly. So I would have to get another job to make ends meet with that, but I'm barely making ends meet with it as I am now. So I guess my question would be, should I get another job and make more money, or should I kind of stay where I'm at and kind of try and figure out where I can go from here?
Where do you want to be in 5 years, and what's the best way to get there?
Basically, I just want to be able to spend the money that I make. You know, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck and struggle through life barely surviving. I just want to be able to, you know what, I've made this money, I get to spend it how I want to spend it. I'm not monetarily driven, so I don't necessarily want to be a millionaire, if you will. But, I mean, that would be nice, but I'm not super like, I need to be a millionaire in this many days.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's not the $1 million that matters. It's what it does. It's not the pile of money, whatever size pile of money you want to deal with, that matters. It's what it does. It gives you freedom. It gives you security. It gives you the ability to help others, none of which you have right now.
Right.
If you take the government assistance out of the picture and you called in and said, hey, I make $25,000, should I keep making $25,000, or should I work so that long term I can make more than that and have control and have less anxiety? I would tell you to go get that other job. You're not going to be working multiple jobs forever, right?
Hopefully.
You're going to find a job in a field that you enjoy. Hopefully. Are you able to do the kind of work that you want to do?
Actually, right now I'm detailing vehicles, and I kind of enjoy it, you know, and that kind of means more to me than a high-paying job, is kind of enjoying what I do.
Why can't it be both?
You know,
can't you detail cars and make a great living?
You're not wrong.
There's a guy in my neighborhood who charges, $300 to detail a car. He can do 2 cars in a day. You can make great money doing that.
Making a lot more than $25,000.
Yeah. And so to me, I would.
You working for somebody else detailing cars, or are you doing them yourself?
No, I'm working for a company.
Okay. Okay, so let's.
And I just make $25,000 because that's kind of my cap for my Medicaid and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so here's the thing: as long as you use the government assistance psychologically, not a moral statement, but psychologically, as a reason not to go be successful, then it's a bad thing. We want for you, Ryan, for you to be successful and prosperous and have a really quality life. How old are you?
30, and
Okay.
I've got 2 babies.
Okay. All right. And so if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do? And that's the way I answer questions. George answers questions here on this show. Yeah, you got to feed your babies. That's your first thing. Number 2, it is valid that we do want to do something we have some passion about and are working towards. But what I don't hear from you, and you couched it under I'm not monetarily driven, is I don't hear a lot of ambition. And I want to give you a little bit of that. I want to inject a little into you because of what it will bring to your life. In other words, I would say let's start setting some goals like I would love to own my own detail company by 12 months from now, because it really doesn't take that much. It's a pressure washer and a thing of rags, right? And a little bit of solvent. So, I mean, you can do this. And then you need some clients and make a lot more on your own as a mobile detail guy with a cheap pickup and a pressure washer thrown in the back and whatever it takes for you to go do that. It does not require $1 bazillion in equipment to start this business. And let's go make $60,000, $70,000 a year doing that. Instead of saying, well, I'm afraid if I make $1 more, I won't get this government stuff, and so I'm kind of trapped. You're not trapped. The only trapped you are is between your ears.
Yeah, that's a good word. And Ryan, I think you just need to set some of these goals like Dave's talking about and find that passion. Because I think once you find that, and if that's auto detailing, that's great. Go after that. And the government assistance going to be in the rearview mirror soon as you start to make some great money with this, and you can make this maybe one day a full-time gig.
I mean, it's not that you need to quit the government assistance today, but I would set a goal that by the end of the year, I've changed my career, I've changed my job, I've changed what I do or how I do it to where I don't need the government assistance anymore. You do not want to set your life up to where you have a permanent depend on the government, because it's not going to create a good life for you. You just don't meet people and go, oh, I'm the happiest guy in my life. I mean, I'm the happiest guy in the world. I spent 50 years in subsidized housing. It made my life awesome. These are not things that people say, dude. So, yeah, this is a thing you've got for today, and then you need to have a plan to move away from it for your own dignity, your own prosperity, your own security, and your own growth, your own personal growth. And so it's a good thing. Hey, man, I appreciate your call. I'm honored to have you in the audience. If we can help you in any way, let us know. Let me send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book. If he'll read it, Kelly, tell him, make sure he'll read it. It's called From Paycheck to Purpose. From merely collecting a paycheck to doing something with your life that has purpose. And oh, by the way, what George said is exactly right. It's not mutually exclusive that you have to not make money in order to be happy. As a matter of fact, it's usually quite the opposite. When you're happy, you tend to make more money. That's the way it works. It's not just being a greedy capitalist or something. That's not the point. It's not a greed thing. It's I want to feed my babies and have some security and have some choices thing. It's a freedom thing. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Just 9 days, George. Next week on Thursday, January 13th, we've got a huge free live stream event coming. It's called Build Wealth in 2022. We've sold out of in-person tickets. Over 1,500 people will be joining us live in the audience, and over 50,000 have already signed up for the live stream. It's called Building Wealth in 2022. Thursday, the 13th of January. If you haven't heard us talk about it yet, Rachel Cruz, George Campbell, and I are going to be talking about building wealth in 2022. We're going to talk about the latest, greatest get-rich-quick things. We're also going to talk about how to really build wealth. We're going to talk about how to become a baby steps millionaire, and we're going to show you how to become wealthy the quickest and surest way. 9 days. You still got time to sign up. It's a free live stream. You go to RamseySolutions.com/wealth. George, I was going over the content of that event with the production team this morning. It looks like you've got some pretty cool things to say.
Oh, yeah. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, because the people that I'm talking to that are in their 20s and their 30s, they're not asking me, hey, how do I pay off my student loans? They're going, I don't have any margin in my life. I need to go get rich. I need to go invest in NFTs and crypto to make a quick buck. And I just want people to slow down, understand what these things are, really listen to the Ramsey plan that changed my life, that allowed me to have the margin that they're looking for. And again, it all points back to our principles, but there's this piece on the top that's all the trending topics that everyone's really freaked out about. Am I going to have FOMO because I didn't get in on Bitcoin at the right time? And you know this because you talk about it in Baby Steps Millionaires. The path to get rich quick it's a dark path, and it can end very poorly. And the slow path, being the tortoise, is the way to do it. And that's what we outline in the book of all of these stories from people who did it the slow way, and they actually kept their wealth.
January 13th, sign up. It is a free live stream, and it'll be George Campbell, Rachel Cruz, and me talking about building wealth in 2022. It is real. And, back to our last caller for a second, it's worth saying we have never, in the 30 years I've been on the air or doing books or been on stage, none of us at Ramsey have ever told you to become wealthy just to become wealthy, or to become wealthy because it's going to make you happy. It won't. But this idea that being poor is fun, or being broke is fun, is asinine. It's not fun. I mean, I've been both. I'll take money, but it's not. I mean, you got a headache, you can afford the dadgum Advil, but on the other, but you can't opt out of bothering to handle your money well in the name of, I don't want to be greedy. Because we've never told you to be greedy. No. We've never told you to, that money's going to make you happier, that money's all that. It's not. Money has absolutely no value except what it does. What it does do is it puts shoes on your kids' feet. What it does do is pay the light bill and keep the heat going. What it does do is give you the ability to retire with dignity, not counting on someone else to take care of your old butt. What it does do is give you options to feed hungry children. I've never met broke people who feed hungry children. It doesn't happen, by the way, unless they're spooning food out that a rich person bought to give away. So, this idea that somehow wealth is bad and it's not a valid goal to go after is a cop-out.
Yeah, and you've said this before. Money makes you more of who you already are. So if you're a great, virtuous person who's generous, you're going to become even more generous when you have money. But that's a lot harder to do when you're broke. And so if wealth is evil, and then the opposite is being poor is virtuous, it just doesn't really make any sense.
No, there is no virtue in poverty. There's nowhere in Scripture that says poverty is virtuous, or that poor people are more virtuous than rich people. As a matter of fact, I was just doing a podcast with a young man this morning. I was a guest on his show, and we were talking about this, that the ratio of evil jerks is about the same with rich people as it is with poor people. There's just a ratio of evil jerks out there. And, a percentage of the public is just evil jerks. They just fall in that bucket. And then there's the rest of us. And some of us are okay. Some of us are a little better than okay. But the evil jerk bucket is about the same regardless of the poor or whether you're rich. And so this idea that somehow it makes you virtuous to be broke is ridiculous.
And that's why I love the so that. And we talk about this a lot on the show. We build wealth so that, not just for the sake of piling up money, because we can't take it with us. It's so that we can have an amazing impact on our families, on our communities, and leave a legacy.
Yeah. It's, it's the only thing that money's good for is so that. That's all it's good for. You can't be outrageously generous if you don't have outrageous. Outrageous starts that sentence. I mean, you gotta have the outrageous part to be outrageously generous.
And that's the stuff that inspires us all.
Yeah. And it's also the most fun you're going to have with money, selfishly. More fun than buying stuff. Get you some stuff. Stuff's fine.
I love giving away your money, Dave. It's a good time.
You've kind of developed that into an art form.
That's my personal brand.
Yeah,
spiritual gift.
Part of your personal spiritual gift. That's what it is, yeah. You have to spiritualize it. God told me.
That's right.
It, yeah. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money and your work and your relationships. It's what we're here for. Connor is on the line in Ocean City, Maryland. Hi, Connor. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you guys doing?
Better than we deserve, man. What's up in your world?
All right, so I got a little bit of I don't know if I'd say a predicament. I just started listening to you about a month ago. I paid off my car since then. I have $12,000 in student loans that I plan to pay as soon as they allow me. My provider just got bought out, so I don't have the information to pay those off yet.
Cool.
I should be able to do that this week, though.
Wow.
Once that's done, I'll have about $65,000 in the bank. And in May, I plan on purchasing a home. I just kind of want to run that by you. So I have basically three options. I can buy like a small townhouse. Real estate's really expensive, just like everywhere, I guess. But right now here, it's kind of crazy. My thought process with that would be I would live there, and then as I grow with the family and stuff, I would keep that as a rental possibly. Or I could spend a little bit more and get a single family house that would probably last me longer. Or do I just keep renting with how crazy the market is?
You single?
I am, yes, sir.
What do you make?
This year I made $78,000.
Good for you. Well done. Okay. I would buy the townhouse personally. Make sure you have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses left out of that $55K. Rest of it's your down payment. Put as much down as you can put down. Here's why. When you get married someday, you're going to discover you bought the wrong house. And so you're going to get the opportunity to move. But you will have made money on the townhouse.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And in the meantime, you've not been overshadowed by and you just sell the townhouse and buy the next property. We don't keep a rental property in debt when you get ready to move later. But that's what I would do. I don't know, George, you got a townhouse, right?
Yeah, I'm still in a townhome here, and we're going to upgrade one day, but I would not do investment properties unless you're doing it with cash, which means you've got a paid-for townhome first, then you're saving up, and if you want to do that later on in life. But right now, focus on getting rid of that debt, get the emergency fund in place, stack up as big of a down payment as you can. We like 20% down or more to avoid the PMI, and then make sure that it's a 15-year fixed, and the payment is no more than a quarter of your take-home pay. That way, you're going to have margin to do all of the other steps, like save for college and cash flow the wedding and pay off your house early and all the other great things that come along with this plan.
Yeah, that stuff will all happen later. But right now, we'll just make you a real estate owner and on a reasonable payment. And, hey, start working towards paying that thing off. The more of it you got paid off, of course, when you sell it, the more you're going to put down on the next property that you buy. And you can move towards getting your personal residence paid for and then move towards saving up to pay cash for investments later. But I like your plan. I like the way you're thinking. And you jumped right on it, man. You took control.
1 month.
Boom, boom. Knock it out. Had a little cash there and started using it to clear up the debts. Tidying up the house. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Andy and April are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Where do you live?
We live in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt have you paid off?
$140,000.
Woo! How long did this take?
24 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
About 180.
Okay, cool.
Start and finish, yeah.
Wow, what do y'all do for a living?
I'm a cost accountant.
Mm-hmm.
I work in a tire center.
Oh, okay. Cool. Excellent. So what kind of debt was this $140,000?
Our house.
You paid off your house?
Yes.
Looking at weird people. I love it, guys. Y'all, how old are you guys?
I'm 39.
37.
And you're not even 40 with a paid-for house. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Way to go. Very cool.
Thank you.
See, paid-for house supposed to be old people stuff, but they're not old people.
Well, not on this stage.
I like it. Well done, man. Well done. So what's this house worth?
Over 400,000.
Wow.
Way to go. Way to go, you guys. All right, tell us the story. What in the world happened to cause you to want to pay off your house? How'd you connect up with all this Ramsey stuff?
So a friend introduced me to your podcast about 7 years ago, and that was the first time I heard somebody in their 30s pay off their house and realized, oh, wow, we could do that. So when we
Never thought of that before.
No.
Exactly.
So when we bought our house over 5 years ago, we got a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, and we were like, well, we're definitely doing it before 15 years, and wouldn't it be great if we did it before either of us turned 40? And so after we cash flowed renovations, we focused on paying off the mortgage, and we did it.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
So have you guys been following this plan for a while? Like, have you been out of consumer debt and doing this stuff for a long time?
So when we first heard the podcast, we had a car payment, but we had the money to pay it. We just were like, well, it's normal to have a car payment. But when I found you and realized, well, let's just not have a car payment. So
there's an idea.
Yeah. We paid that off and still had money as our baby step 3. And ever since the kids were born, we were paying for their college, and we'd always been investing. So the next step was the mortgage.
Just ride down the baby steps.
That's incredible.
Well done. Well done. And you're both numbers people. I mean,
Her more than me, yes.
Yeah, but cost accountant, and you said you're what?
Tire center.
Tire center. I thought you said tax. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So, wow. All right. So she's the numbers nerd.
Yes,
for sure.
She's the
All
brains of the operation.
All right. Well, that's okay. We can all claim that. But, man, very cool, you guys.
So do you guys just decide, all right, if we just live on this much, the rest can go towards the house, we can do this whole thing in 24 months? Was that the goal?
Yes.
Exactly.
He teases me because I love spreadsheets, and so I had a spreadsheet that said if we paid this each of the months, we knew we were good. And
but on paper, you went, no, we can do this if we just follow what's on the paper, on the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, I'll tease you about your spreadsheet, too, but you got to pay for a house.
Yes.
37 years old.
Who's
All
making
right.
jokes now?
Yeah, spreadsheet. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Pretty cool.
So were there
That's very neat.
sacrifices along the way for you guys as you were on this journey? I mean, obviously you could have done a lot of things. You have a great income. You had no debt. People going, what are you doing paying off your house early?
Oh, yeah, there was lots of things we could have gone to go do instead of, but...
Yep, but we just helped each other stay focused, and the kids helped us. They didn't get to do, all the different activities and stuff because we said, if we just put it towards the mortgage, then we're done, and then you can do any activity you want to do.
So what's the big thing you're going to do now that the mortgage is paid for?
Well, we want to see all 50 states before
there you go.
Our oldest graduates high school. So
there you go. Yeah, and you're young, and they're young kids, and now you have the money because you don't have any debt to travel. So tell me, YOLO people, they got you butt whipped right here. I'm just telling you, this is amazing. Yeah, very cool, you guys. Very cool. I just love it. I mean, it's just... You are living like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. You truly have paid the price to win. So what do you tell people when they find out, God, you guys are so young, you paid off your house. How did you do that? What do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
Make a plan and stick to it.
Mm-hmm. And I think every dollar really helped because before you guys had that, I did my spreadsheet and I could see it every day, but he couldn't. So now with every dollar, we both have it on our phones, so we both knew how we were doing throughout the month, and
That's
it was
huge.
great.
Yeah, you both stay, that unity, that working together, having a game plan, having a budget, having a tool like every dollar to work with. For those of you that don't know, that's the world's best budgeting tool. Happens to be produced by Ramsey. But yeah, you guys are incredible. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
How's it feel to not have a payment in the world?
It's awesome.
It's so nice, so freeing.
How much is in your retirement accounts?
Over 500,000.
So you've hit millionaire status then. You're baby steps millionaires.
Yes.
And you're not even 40. And they're kind of embarrassed about it.
I know.
That's cute.
I'd be cheering right now. You guys are amazing.
Woo! Yeah! That's what we do right there.
We should
Look
have
at
put
that.
them in the Baby Steps Millionaires book. This is incredible.
Yeah!
Did you guys ever think this was possible? I mean, when you graduated college or whatever it was, did you
By
think we're going to be
40, I'll have a
millionaires?
paid-for house and I'll be millionaire.
Oh, God, no. No, I never
come
saw that.
on! It's awesome!
It is.
It is, yes.
Are you the only people in your sphere that are like this, or are there others? Have you inspired anyone else?
We would try to inspire family. I don't know if they're sticking to it or not.
Family's the toughest one I found to get on board.
Yeah.
But man, they're looking at you going, "Oh, well,
So they knew you were weird, and now you just proved it. Yeah. I love it. You guys are amazing. You're amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So very stinking cool. Man, it's just fun. And go see those. What's the first big state? What's the first travel?
We're going to Utah in a week.
Okay.
See some national parks and ice castle for the kids. And
Yeah.
yeah, we have about 19 states under our belt. So
Yeah.
that's impressive." So are you guys
Yeah.
homeschooling and, to be able to do this? Are they
No.
traveling with you? Or are they in and out and traveling when they can? And
we have year-round school. So
Oh,
when
you get
they
those
do
breaks.
track outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hit
Nice.
Park City and go down the slopes.
Yes.
All right.
While you're there. Park City's beautiful when you're in Utah. Yeah, excellent. Well done, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo!
This is
All right,
awesome.
we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That is where you are. That's the next chapter in your story, and you are already reading it, baby. I love it. Well done. Book comes out next week, but we're going to give you an advanced copy. And, of course, we're going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to pay it forward and give to someone and disturb their lives. I'm so proud of you. You're such a neat power couple. What are the kiddos' names and ages?
Claire is 10 and Connor is 8.
Okay, now the big question, Claire and Connor, is have you been practicing the debt-free scream?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
They're so well behaved.
Yep.
I love
They're dialed in. They've had all the way from Raleigh to get this right. So, and maybe a few months before that. So, good stuff, you guys. Man, y'all are just neat. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
Thank
happy
you.
for you that you're going to get to do all these things and be all these blessings to your family. It's just very cool. All right, it's Andy and April, Claire and Connor from Raleigh, North Carolina. Get ready. $140,000 paid off in 24 months. That's house and everything. Oh, and by the way, Baby Steps Millionaires making 180. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3,
2, 1.
We're debt free.
Yeah! Yeah, George.
Wow. My face hurts from smiling.
That's why I keep coming down here, man. 37-year-old millionaires. Bring it, baby.
Just like that.
Bring it, baby.
I think you need a new book. Baby Steps.
Touchdown.
Multi-millionaires.
We should call it Baby Steps Millionaires by the time you're 40. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. A week from Thursday, we'll be doing the Building Wealth in 2022 free live stream. If you want to view it, it's free. Did I mention it's free? I think you can afford it. It's free. Check out RamseySolutions.com/wealth or just hit our live events tab at RamseySolutions.com and you can sign up. Doesn't cost anything, but you do have to sign up ahead of time to be ready for the event this coming Thursday night. Corey is in Little Rock. Hi, Corey. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
My name is Corey. I'm 32, and my boss just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and so he left me some money, and so I'm just trying to really figure out what I'm supposed to do. Like, my dad has told me what I need to do, but it's a lot going on, and I'm just trying to, because I don't have a job now since my boss passed away, but
your boss left you money in his will?
Yes.
Wow, that's an unusual arrangement.
I was his personal assistant for 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did, he was an oil contractor, and so I did all his scheduling, everything. I was, as he used to call me, his go-to gal all the time. So, I mean, I just kept up with all of his books and everything that he needed done. And so after I knew he
didn't have family then.
He did.
Okay.
So his wife is the one that actually called me and let me know that I was left something.
Oh, okay. So he didn't leave everything to you.
No.
Okay, I'm just trying. It's just an unusual story. It's a wonderful story, but I'm trying to understand. So, how much did he leave you?
$1.25
million.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's just wild.
I couldn't believe.
Well, what was the old guy worth? $1 billion or something?
He has a lot. I mean, several properties. I helped him manage his properties. He would take me on trips with him and his family. My kids, he took care of my kids. I mean,
wow.
He was an amazing person.
Wow. So are you married?
No.
Okay. How old are your kiddos?
I have a 15-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an 11-month-old.
And what was your income before you lost your job?
I was making $65,000.
$65,000 a year. $1.25 million.
Wow.
And I was pretty much living paycheck to paycheck doing that. I mean, I shouldn't have, but I mean, my kids I'm doing it on my own, so.
Yeah. So do you have any debt currently? Any consumer debt?
Yes, I have student loans, and I have about $40,000 in student loans.
Okay.
We're renting an apartment, so just month by month, that's $1,200 for our rent. And then my car, my mom gave me her car. So I have a 2006 Honda Odyssey minivan.
All right. Well, you're very wise. You sound a little bit overwhelmed by this, a little bit scared even.
Well, my dad suggested that because my boss was very flexible because he knew I had kids and everything, so it was a lot of, I could work from home, Zoom calls and everything like that. I could do a lot of stuff from home, but now I don't think if I get another job, I will have that. And it's kind of the viewpoint my dad was looking at. So he was thinking like maybe if I take a break until my youngest, who's 11 months old, starts kindergarten, because right now it would be like daycare for all of them. Well, mine is my 15-year-old. It would be daycare for all of them. And he doesn't think that it would be wise for me to go back to work just yet and just use the money. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, what I would suggest you do is that you build a, let me kind of pan back. Let's just zoom back for a second from worrying about what we're doing tomorrow. Overall, someone just handed you $1.25 million to manage. That's your new job. And you don't know how to do it.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's why you call me.
Yes.
And that doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you bad. It's just that you've never managed $1.2 million before, right?
No, definitely not.
So what you do when you have a responsibility that large, which is what this is, it's not a woohoo, I hit the lottery moment. And I don't hear that in your voice, by the way. I hear a little bit of fear, a little bit of grief still from your friend passing away, a little bit of shock and awe, which I have in my voice, that you got this much money from your employer. That's pretty cool. So here's what I suggest that people do. You need to, number one, move slowly.
Okay.
If you feel urgency or someone pushing you, stop.
Okay.
Because where people make mistakes when they don't know what they're doing is they go too fast. Let's pretend you're driving a car for the very first time. I took my kid out in the church parking lot with the Jeep and the straight shift to teach him how to do the drive and to do the straight shift. The first rule is don't even change gears. Let's just figure out and move slowly. Get in trouble, stop.
Okay.
Right? And that's what you're going to do here, because it's something you've never done before. Okay? Second rule is the Bible says in the multitude of counsel there is safety. So I want you to build your own advisory group, your own board of directors, not to tell you what to do, but to advise you and teach you, and then you decide what to do.
Okay.
You got a pencil?
Yes.
You ready to write?
Okay.
First thing you need is you need an investment advisor. Click SmartVestor at RamseySolutions.com. You can find one that we suggest. The second thing you need is a tax advisor. Click TaxELP at RamseySolutions.com and find one that you like. The third thing that you need is sometime in the next year, I suspect you're probably going to buy a home and pay cash for it. An inexpensive home, under $200,000.
Okay.
And you're going to need a good real estate agent. That's your third person on your board, on your advisory board. Again, we've got ELPs that can sit down with you and help you with that. You need to make sure you have the right kinds of insurance in place. So you need an insurance.
I don't have health insurance anymore.
There you go. You need insurance in place. And we've got ELPs to help you with insurance. We're not in any of these businesses, but we've got people set up to where you can form your advisory board. And their goal is not to tell you what to do. And your goal is not to hire a babysitter. You're a grown woman. So your goal is to gather information from advisors by which you go slow enough that you learn and then you make the decisions.
Okay.
And I think you can buy a home for cash and invest some of this and not have to go back to work.
Okay. But I can do like my dad said.
Yep. But it's not by using the money. It's by investing the money and using the money that the investment creates.
Okay.
We're not going to use any of the money. We're going to put it in an investment, and it throws off an income for you to live on.
Okay.
With your investment advisor, and you're going to not need a lot of income because your house is going to be paid for and your car is going to be paid for. You're not going to have any debt, and you're going to be on a budget.
Okay. Because like I said, I was paycheck to paycheck.
You're not going to live paycheck to paycheck anymore. You're just going to tell every dollar what it's going to do that's coming in. You're going to have more dollars than you used to have.
Okay.
And I want you to go through Ramsey Plus, go through Financial Peace University and learn how to handle money. I'm going to pay for that. We're going to give it to you for a year. Because you've got to get up on top of this thing, or you're going to live with this horrible taste on the back of your tongue called regret. Move slowly and learn and put advisors in your corner. Hold on, Kelly will pick up and we'll help you. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print podcast on Ramsey Networks, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life, your money, your work, your relationships, and you. We're here to help. 888-825-5225. Justin starts off this hour in Miami. Hi, Justin. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. I need a quick education and potentially some advice from you. So I received a call from someone from the lending arm of the company that services my home loan, and he was pitching me on the idea of taking advantage of something called the VA IRRRL program, IRRRL as in IRRRL. I don't know anything about this. And so my hesitancy is that, A, it was a cold call, and that just makes me skeptical in general, but also I don't know anything about the program, broadly speaking. So my question to you is the VA IRRRL program as easy and risk-free as I'm being led to believe, or are there some traps out there that I need to avoid?
You currently have a VA loan.
Correct.
Your current interest rate is what?
4.25.
And they're offering you the IRRRL at what?
The IRRRL at 2.75.
And no closing costs.
Correct. No appraisal, no closing cost. He said there'd be a 2% increase in fees that should be paid out within the first 2 to 3 years of the loan. And those fees would be routine costs such as the VA funding fee, which would be waived because of my service-connected disability, origination fees, title expenses, things of that nature.
Those are closing costs.
Okay, well, then there are closing costs. He told me no closing costs, but then he told me there'd be those fees. So
yeah,
I don't know.
That's those things are the definition of closing costs. Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, all they're talking about is they don't have to fool with an appraisal because they've already got the loan on the property, and they're just going to drop the thing in there. They're going to hit you with an additional funding fee, and the funding fee was 2%. No, the whole thing was 2%. How much are they hitting you with the funding fee? 1%?
I'm not sure what that would be, but it would be waived for me because I have.
Oh, that's true. You're waived. You get the disability. Okay. I personally am not familiar with the. I'm familiar with the concept. FHA has a concept that's very similar as well. It's typically with FHA, it is slightly above market interest rate, and there's no closing costs. With the VA, it sounds like they're just hitting you with the funding fee, and you're paying it back over in addition to your interest rate. Correct?
That's my interpretation, but I'm not the expert, so I was really unsure. I could, I guess, drill down on those details.
Yeah, you need to get the details out of it, because otherwise, it sounds like it's a fairly normal transaction. The only thing I'm worried about is how they're going to tag you with those fees. Again, you're not getting hit with the funding fee because of your disability. And that is the downside of a VA loan. For the rest of you out there, VA loans are one of the more expensive loans. Between FHA, VA, and conventional, VA is the most expensive, which is odd. It's supposed to be a benefit to someone who served their country, but it's actually not because of the funding fee. If, however, you're disabled, then guess what? The funding fee is waived, and now the VA starts to be a very reasonable loan at that point. The interest rates are slightly higher, but this 275 is fine in this current market. There's nothing wrong with that rate.
All things being equal, if it's just as cut and dry as this from 4.25 to 2.75, and all there is the closing cost, you would say that it's a
done deal.
Pretty okay.
Yeah. Let's pretend your worst case scenario is the actual closing costs. What were the other costs he was hitting you with?
The origination fee and title expenses, and he mentioned one or two other things I didn't have an opportunity to make note of.
Okay, well, this is a pretty standard VA loan.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you pay those up front, I need to know what this origination fee is, because if he's jacked that to 2%, this starts to not be as good a deal. But basically, the way you can do the analysis when you get a hold of it is you just do a break-even analysis. You say, all right, you're going to go from 475. Did you say 425 or 475?
It's 425.
Okay, so you're going to go down 1.5 points. 1.5. Yeah, and your interest rate and your current balance is what?
$172,000.
Okay, so 1% $1,700. 1.5 is going to be $2,250. Okay. No, I missed that, but it's going to be in the $2,500. I'm sorry, right in that range. All right, so you're saving $2,500 a year in interest by doing this. If it costs you $2,500 out of your pocket, it takes you a year to break even.
I'm tracking. Yep.
That's how you do the analysis on any refinance, and this sounds like a fairly standard refinance. I'm admitting to you I don't know those initials, but everything else here sounds like a standard VA refinance to me.
Okay. Yeah, the initials acronym is Interest Rate Reduction Refinance Loan. I've been reading about it on the VA.gov website, but I'm not familiar with it, so I wanted to try and pick your brain a little bit.
Well, they drop these types of again. FHA is a very similar program, and they drop these things into an acronym, and it all comes down to A, they've already got the loan on the books. B, they don't need to run an appraisal. And C, right. They've got you as a customer, and they know they're going to lose you as a customer because you can go get a 275 in the open market and dump them in the street. So they want to try to retain a customer. That's where these things all fall under that heading. So there's nothing weird here going on. It's a fairly standard product that you're describing. So very interesting, George.
Yeah. Well, with the break-even analysis, do you have parameters where you say, all right, if I'm going to break even within a year, we're going to go ahead and do this?
Yeah, well, assuming you're going to stay in the house. All right, let's say I plan to stay in the house next 10 years. Okay, then how far out would you go? Okay, my closing costs are $5,000 and I save $2,500 a year. Well, that's a 2-year break even. My closing costs are $7,500. That's a 3-year break even. You could roll the closing costs back onto the loan, but you're still breaking even after 3 years. Much past that, I start to worry about it.
Yeah.
3 years a max. 2 years used to be our rule of thumb back in the day in the real estate business. If you can break even in 2 years on your refinance, you ought to automatically do it, assuming you're staying in the home.
Yeah.
But after that, it starts to be a lot of unknowns. The numbers are that the average home loan pays off every 5.6 years due to sale or refinance, because the average house sells every 6.8 years. Used to be. Now, with the current weirdness, who the crap knows? But that pre-COVID, those were the numbers. And so you don't want to go out that far for your break-even. So for me, 3 starts to be uncomfortable. 2 is kind of a slam dunk. 1's definitely a slam dunk.
Yeah. And same thing on the percentage point. If you save 1% or more, do you go, all right, that we got to look at the break-even on this now? But if you're saving 0.25%.
The 0.25% doesn't matter. It's how quick I can break even. If a 1/4% allows me to break even in 6 months, I could do it. It's a lot of trouble for 1/4%.
A lot of paperwork.
But usually, you're usually not going to break even fast enough unless you're saving 1% or more to screw with it.
Yeah.
But I've seen a few cases where it's a little less than 1 and still makes sense. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Happy New Year! It's resolution season, and if you're like most people, you make resolutions on New Year's Day and give up on them by Valentine's Day. Have you ever noticed the gym is empty by Valentine's Day? There's an irony there. Just think about it. Why one big reason is that you'd end up making things happen all on your own. So if you decide to take control of your money, let me help you. You're going to give up if you don't get some people in your corner and a process is proven, and that's called Financial Peace University. You get into a class, you get into an online class, and you get with some of our coaches, and you get some accountability and encouragement going, you won't quit. But most people quit otherwise. You get the proven plan, in person and online, your choice, whatever mix you want to do, with Financial Peace University. It's, of course, part of Ramsey Plus, and that's how you get to it. You can get a free trial of Financial Peace University and the Every Dollar app, all built in together. No reason to wing it on your New Year's resolution to get out of debt. It's a free trial. Let's go do this together. We've been doing it with millions of people for decades. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Get a free trial for Financial Peace University, RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They are the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal. Rules and restrictions apply.
Today's question comes from Dennis in Washington. My friend and I started a paint contracting business. This year, we've already earned $1.4 million with $500,000 as net profit. We're worried about tax season because we've never experienced financial success like this before. Our accountant recently told us we need to make some expensive business purchases as write-offs, and my partner wants to buy a truck for cash. I really don't want to spend thousands of dollars for potential small tax savings. What is the real wise thing to do?
Fire your accountant. Right now. He's an idiot. I'm serious. Accountants that can't do math should not be employed. This just pisses me off.
They're saying spend a bunch of money to save a little bit of money.
Well, let me explain to you how this works, okay? If you go buy a truck, you do not get to write the truck off and save the cost of the truck in taxes. Let's say you have a $50,000 tax bill, so you go buy a $50,000 truck. It does not work that way, honey. Your accountant's a moron. All right? So what happens when you buy a $50,000 truck is you get to depreciate that truck over 3 or 5 years, depending on what type of schedule you put it on. And as you depreciate it, let's just say we put it over 5 years, so the math's easy. On my $50,000, that's $10,000 a year. Oh, by the way, you don't get $10,000 off your taxes either. You get $10,000 off of your taxable income. And so if you're in a 30% bracket, it saves you $3,000 this year to buy a $50,000 truck. Your accountant is a moron.
That math doesn't add up. You don't need to be a mathematician.
You trade $50,000 for $3,000? You're a moron, okay? That's just straight up. That's just an idiot. Now, here's the thing. If you go buy business equipment that you actually use in the business, most of it is going to be on a depreciation schedule of some kind. Under some cases, you can write the whole thing off in 1 year. Maybe it will, depending on what Biden has done with the Trump tax stuff, you may be able to write it all off in 1 year. But it's, even then, $10,000 write-off for a $10,000 expense saves you $3,000 on your taxes. No, you don't need to go spend money to save on taxes. You're just going to pay some taxes, honey. You became very successful. I'm sorry.
It sounds like they should have just been putting that money aside, knowing.
I'm guessing they haven't been doing quarterly estimates.
Yeah. This is all new to them.
Their accountant is a moron.
This all happened to this year. So this is all new to them, but, taxes aren't new. They've been paying taxes since they've been working, so they've got to find a new tax
If your partner wants to go buy a truck for cash, you should do that with the money that he takes out of the business as his share of the profits and get ready to pay taxes on it. Do not buy things for your business to save on taxes. Only buy things for your business that causes your business to become more prosperous. Now, if you have some legitimate things you can invest in that cause you to make even more money in business, let's always invest in those. But we didn't do that for tax reasons. We did that because we're going to make more money on the item we purchased than the item cost. That's called a return on investment, and that's what you do in business. You don't put money in anything else. But there is no situation in tax where if you spend $1, you save $1. No. If you spend $1, you save maybe a quarter. Maybe 3 cents. Possible exception would be if you spend some money on a new accountant who can do math. And that might be a good return on investment.
Can you write that off? That's the question.
Have I been unclear about accountants who can't do math? Any of you CPAs and accountants who tell people to go run up their expenses in a business in order to save on taxes ought to have your butt kicked up around your neck. It's ridiculous. When you people running businesses start doing stuff just for taxes, you about to be out of business. When the lawyers and the bean counters run your business, you are screwed. You have to make decisions that are business decisions.
I'm guessing these are the same people that buy things on their credit card, on their business card to get the rewards. It's the same mentality of I'm going to spend $10,000 to get $200.
My favorite one was my friend who's an electrician. The irony of this never has been able to escape me. His idiot accountant told him that it was okay for him to buy a houseboat and write it off as a business expense. Now, there's no irony here that we're talking about a boat with electricity, right? An electrician with a houseboat. But I'm trying to explain to him, Junior, it's not a business expense. That's not his name. His name's not Junior. But I'm like, good Lord, Bubba. I mean, you understand? He said, well, I'm going to have like business parties on it. I will entertain customers. How many days a year? 2 days a year. Okay, you can actually depreciate 2 365ths of this houseboat. And you can write off the booze that you bought for the party. And that's it, Bubba. That's it. Your accountant is a moron. Oh, my God. This is so freaking stupid.
Yeah, the fraction on that hurts my brain. It's so little.
It's, yeah. And it's just, and it's an electrician buying a boat with water and electricity. That just always, it's just bothering me. But, yeah. But yeah. Oh, this is something we get with EntreLeadership all the time. Business people who are smarter than their accountants, smarter than their lawyers, start taking orders from people that are dumber than them.
Got to put people smarter than you around you. No. Go to RamseySolutions.com, click on ELP for taxes, get you a new tax person that can add. Can you tell it bothers me a little bit? You're a little riled up there, Dave. I'm not going to lie.
Bothers me a little bit.
But I like the fire today.
It's
Well, business stuff especially riles you up. You've been in this business long enough, 30 years.
And I've been helping small businesses with EntreLeadership. We've been tens of thousands of them for decades, and I just love small business people. And this young guy, man, they went out and they kicked butt. They are absolutely killing it, man. I mean, they're wearing it out. $1 million in revenue in the first year. $500,000 in
paint contracting. That's a lot of painting.
Profit. And what happens to a wonderful young guy like this? Yeah, just out of control, man. It's absolutely out of control. You just can't live that way. So, no, you make all business decisions on economic values, not on tax law. Whatever tax law happens. Now, you can do a few things here or there on taxes. You may want to push some expenses into December, too late now, if you're on a cash basis accounting system, so that you can get the write-off in last year. Looks like Biden's going to change capital gains, so would have been a good idea to dump some capital gains stuff last year. You can do some tax planning around some things, and you should do that. You should be wise about this. But this idea that we're going to run up expenses in business to save on taxes just exhausts me.
You done riled them up, Dennis. You done riled them up.
This is The Ramsey Show. Ramsey personality is my co-host today. Open phones here on The Ramsey Show. It's a free call. Some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, on the debt-free stage, Kyle and Jessica are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Great.
Great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Austin, Texas.
Austin. Very cool. How much debt have you paid off?
$175,000.
Whoa! How long did this take?
It took us 3 years and 1 month.
3 years and 1 month. And your range of income during that time?
We started at $72,000, and right now I'm making about $160,000.
That's a nice jump.
Yes.
Like, what happened to the income? I got to ask.
Just different job opportunities and saying yes.
Like somebody wasn't working, now somebody is?
No, just
both
me.
of you just went way up.
I'm a stay-at-home mom for our 2 kids, about to be 3, and he just got some great job opportunities. And
what do you do for a living?
I'm a software engineer.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, all right. Way to go!
And a good one, definitely.
Dang,
That's
mic drop.
amazing.
What's the kind of debt? Was this $175,000?
$25,000 was car loans, and the rest was student loans.
Whoa, $150,000 in student loans. What's your degree in?
Computer science.
At least this one's paying off, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, you're making some good bank with it, and pretty quick. How old are you guys?
26. Both
How long
of
have
us.
you been married?
We are coming up on 5 years in a couple weeks.
Okay. Wow. So a couple years into marriage, you're making $70,000. You got $175,000 monkey on your back. Ouch. This doesn't sound fun.
Not at all.
You're 24 years old at that point, right? Oh my gosh, this sounds like it was awful.
Yes, it was a lot. We, whenever he graduated from school, it was all student loans on his end. And so we sat down and looked at the numbers, and we were really intimidated. But we'd heard about your program before, and we sat down and looked at it, and it made the most sense. And so we decided to start. It didn't start right away because we were making so little whenever he was finishing up school and I was working. But around 1.5 years into marriage, whenever our daughter was born, we started paying off, and then 3 years later, here we are.
I love it. Wow. Well, one thing about a software engineer, when they see a system, they work it.
Yes,
you know, that's it, man. It's like you're a process guy. You saw the process, ding, ding, right?
That was it.
Yeah. Wow.
So what were your payments? Do you remember all of the debt added up? What were those payments every month?
Oh my gosh.
She still feels it. I can tell her.
Yes. I'm trying to think. It was minimums were about $2,000 a month, but we always paid extra for the most part on those. So at least $2,000, but we usually paid quite a bit more.
You're $2,000 a month richer.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, it's like unbelievable.
We feel it every single day. I don't think we've forgotten about it since we paid it off. I mean, it just you can feel the weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah, you physically can feel that.
Oh, yes, every day.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys are 26. I mean, you must have a lot of friends, probably other software engineers who are sitting there with another 150 in loans going, well, I'm just going to pay this off until I die. That's the only way.
Yes. Yeah, we figured we were already pretty broke college students, and so it wasn't really a big jump going to, because even though we were making more once we graduated, we just pretended like we were still those broke college students. So all that extra money that we were making, we just put towards loans and kind of forgot like we had. So we just lived as frugally as we could in the meantime.
Wow. Okay, so people find out you paid off $175,000. This is impressive. Y'all are studs. This is amazing. You guys are a power couple, man. This is so cool. So proud of you.
Thank you.
When they find out you did this, they say, how'd you do that? What do you tell them?
Well, one thing that was helpful for me was just having that vision of what you want life to be like in the future, and just every sacrifice and everything you have to do to make that happen. If you hold that vision, it helps it be more real.
And I think just being a team, because we were always on the same page from the beginning, and that made it go so much quicker. And just realizing that we could still have a great life in the meantime. We could still have fun together. We just found a lot of free activities. Like we would go hiking with our kids all the time and things that didn't cost extra money. And we just learned to live and enjoy life in the moment. So we learned to make it fun even when it was really hard.
Now, it was 3 years is a long time, but in the scope of your life, it ain't spit.
Exactly.
You know, you live like no one else. You got the rest of your life to live and give like no one else. And man, you got a great career choice, so you'll be able to make good money, and you control a lot of your own destiny here. You guys are really this is impressive.
Thank you.
This is impressive.
If you guys accomplish this in 3 years, I'm like, what are you going to accomplish in the next 30? I'm scared. You guys are going to do so unbelievably well.
We can't wait. We're excited as well. We've been dreaming big, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the next big thing?
Buying a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, take some trips and save that down payment up and get a house now.
Very good. Very good. How many kids you got?
We have 2 daughters, and then we're pregnant with our boy right now. So that's gonna be our third. So.
Woo! That's the Ramsey lineup. 2 daughters followed by a boy. Yeah, that's
we're
good.
Excited.
Very good. Well, you ought to be. It's great. Good times. Good times. Well, congratulations, you guys. We're proud of you here.
Thank you.
You're the kind of people that we love helping, and you're very impressive.
Thank you.
Very impressive. You're heroes. You took control of your life, and just beautifully, beautifully done.
Gives me hope for this generation, Dave. It turns out they're not all bad.
Oh, we knew that.
We knew
here. We see it all the time.
That's impressive.
Very cool.
Man.
Very cool. All right, we've got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaire book that comes out next week, an advanced copy, and because that's the next chapter in your story. You'll be there before you know it at this rate. Bing, ding, man. You're just zooming right along. Very well done. And a copy of Total Money Makeover as well, so you can give that to somebody, disturb their life, help them get on the same track, teach them the system you used, because they're going to ask. They're going to ask, because you start to walk different and smile different when you don't have almost $200,000 worth of monkey on your back.
Definitely.
Pretty stinking incredible. You guys are amazing. Very, very well done. Kyle and Jessica, Austin, Texas, $175,000 paid off. 3 years and 1 month, making 72 all the way to 160 during that 3 years. Nice jump. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! That is how it's done, boys and girls. Oh, my goodness.
The future's looking bright for that couple.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We see continuously in all of the millionaire data from Baby Steps Millionaire and from the Ramsey research on millionaires, all the data that we've got, that people who have who are in industries that are process-oriented have a chance. They have the best chances. So the number one most likely career field to become a millionaire in all the millionaires we've studied is engineer. Software engineer here, right? Okay? The engineers are process-driven. 1 + 1 = 2. We don't have to have an existential argument about it. By God, 1 + 1 = 2. Accountants, number 2. Teachers, number 3. And if you know anything about putting together a lesson plan or running a classroom full of animals, that's called teaching, then you know they are process-driven people. Number 3, managers and entrepreneurs. Number 4, lawyers. If you've ever dealt with lawyers, they're process-driven human beings. The number 5, the 5 top career fields of people who end up being millionaires are all process-driven. Now, that's not to say that if you're an artist, you don't have a shot. You have a shot, but you need to understand that there's a correlation between following a freaking process and becoming wealthy. That's why we wrote The Baby Steps Millionaire. It's a process to become wealthy, and you have to submit yourself to a process, not try to be an artist with it. It's a science, it ain't art.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And you're right. There's this level of you can't just wish for it. You can't just hope for it. You have to put the behaviors in play to make it happen.
But, you know, those of us that have a creativity binge, you and me included.
Yeah.
I'm a process guy, but I've also got a creativity binge, meaning that I always question everything, right? I have to go, well, I don't care about your baby steps. I want to make my own. You know, I'm the same moron out there that some of you are that are listening right now. Don't go make your own. It's painful. You know, follow the plan. You know what that guy did? He never even questioned it.
Follow the proven plan.
He just did it. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Max is in Corpus Christi. Hi, Max. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Howdy, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I'm a midshipman, second-year midshipman at the United States Naval Academy, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out how I want to set up my outlook going forward. So I'm going to graduate here in 2.5 years with no debt, or I have the option of doing that. Or I can take what's called the Career Starter Loan from USAA. Well, it's a 0.75% interest loan. Okay. Because the idea was to cover your car and home to get started. But
you're not covering your car. You're borrowing money for a car.
Fair enough. That's what my brother-in-law said you'd say.
That was easy. Hold on. So you said the other option was graduate debt-free?
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can go 50 grand in debt, right?
32.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the first
Somebody ought to
option?
smack those people for doing that to you guys. You guys are serving your country. Thank you so much for who you are, young man.
Thank you.
Please don't go falling into a ditch.
Okay. Because all the financial investors are like, well, most people that do it beat the interest within a year in the stock market. And
hey, let me tell you what they are. They're full of crap. Okay? And let me tell you why I know that. I'm not just making this up. We studied, Max, 10,000 millionaires. The largest study of millionaires ever done in North America. Do you know how many of them told us that they borrowed money at 1% interest and invested it in the market, and that caused them to be millionaires? Precisely zero.
Not many.
Zero. None of them.
Very well.
And they weren't trying to get a commission off of a young midshipman to get him to borrow money at the freaking credit union to put it into his mutual fund. You need to run from those financial people because they haven't got your best interest at heart. You are a sharp young guy. You're getting ready to go. I assume you're going to be an officer, correct?
Yes, sir. Either in the Navy or the Marine Corps. I'm hoping to fly for the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to fly. Oh, even better. Wow. Good for you. Man, that's amazing. And so your future in an aircraft, military or non-military later, is bright. Your income is bright. Everything is there. Don't saddle yourself with these kinds of problems all in an effort to accelerate your wealth building process because there's no data points to back it up.
That makes sense.
Okay. Man, I appreciate who you are, and I really don't want you to do this. I hope you hear me loud and clear. I'm not just being a smart aleck with you. I am being a smart aleck with the morons around you, though. Oh my gosh. What a great young
anyone
guy.
who's selling him on the benefit of $32,000 in debt is not looking out for him.
So let me just kind of walk this through, George, for a second. It's important because it sounds like we don't know how to do math to people like those people that are advising him. So for you morons out there that are teaching you some young guy stuff like this, here's where you're wrong, okay? At $32,000, and he can borrow the money at 1% or so, if he invested in mutual funds and he made 10 or 12%, does he not make the spread? Yes, he does.
On paper,
he does
sure.
make the spread. However, what you need to understand is that your formula that you have used is A, naive and incomplete, B, short-sighted. Let me explain. Naive and incomplete means you have not factored in risk. Let me show you how I know you've not factored in risk. It didn't bother anyone that this young guy's going to borrow $32,000 at 1%. So let's just put some X's on it. If $32,000 at 1% makes him profit, if he could do $3.2 million at 1%, should he?
No.
What's the difference?
It's a bigger number.
The bigger number makes your heart measure the risk. You feel it. Some of you just got tight in the chest or your stomach raised up just a little bit, even when I suggested that the young man be $3.2 million in debt. But if the math works at $32,000, why wouldn't the math work at 3.2? Because at 3.2, you have finally physically felt in your chest the risk. But you didn't feel it before, so you thought you were some kind of BA with your math. You left out risk. You left out risk. Risk is math, and you have to insert risk in the process. And otherwise, you get your freaking head taken off. And so just because the risk feels small doesn't mean it's not there. And doesn't mean it's that so your formula, 1% versus 10 or 12% spread, is incomplete because you left out risk. Number two, it's naive because you didn't take into consideration the fact that you have a young man getting into the cockpit of a fighter jet, some of the most sophisticated equipment on the planet, where you can kill someone over the horizon and never see them, or be killed by someone over the horizon and never see them. It is a bizarre set of technology, the world's best in humankind history, and you have a young guy in his early 20s getting ready to climb into that cockpit. Oh, and let's go ahead and put in the back of his mind that he has $32,000 worth of debt and act like that doesn't matter. Of course it matters. The number 3 cause of dishonorable discharge in the military is financial irresponsibility. They lose their security clearance and they lose their battle readiness because they're preoccupied with crap in the back of their mind because some moron financial advisor suggested there was a spread between 1 and 10. There's more to this stuff, folks, than meets the eye. That's my point.
Yeah. And you also have to wonder how much payments beget payments, where he goes, all right, well, I've already got this $32,000. Why not go get a car loan? And why not go get payments over here and run up a credit card? And it just becomes
normalizes it. It normalizes it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, man, these guys preying on the military people, it pisses me off. You leave a military base, and you know, if you go to a military town, you leave the gates of the base. As soon as you leave the gates of the base, there is stupid on each side of the road for about 2 miles. Every dumb human trick you can do is on one side of the road or the other for about 2 miles. They are set up like a bunch of freaking piranha to feed on these guys, from payday lenders to whoever else out there. And this is an innocuous kind of a loan he's talking about. There's nothing to this loan. But, I mean, the horrible financial products, horrible deals on cars, horrible behaviors they can engage in, none of which are good for them, none of which are good for their battle readiness, none of which are good for their military career. And it's just, it's it's sad that these people are preying on the very people who are young people who are not making a lot of money in most cases, and they're here to serve us.
Yeah. What do you think makes them more vulnerable to these kinds of decisions?
Well, it's the same, they're the same age as a college student who went and got a degree in beer pong. You got stupid outside the college. As soon as you walk off the college campus for 2 miles, you got stupid on each side of the road, too. It's the same thing. They're preying on the young that are inexperienced at life and think that I want to try all these new things that look like fun and will bring death. Death to your finances, death to your relationships, death to your future relationships. It's a problem, man. It's a problem. And so I'm not suggesting legislation to protect it, but I am suggesting that the military really ought to do some orientation, just like a college should do an orientation. It's not just about what's happening on the campus. It's about what's happening just off the campus that'll kill your butt and mess you up and set you on a trajectory that takes you 10 years to recover from. And you're turning a guy, 18 years old, loose with their first paycheck, unsupervised, and the first thing you do is drop them in a pool of piranha. And it's just, oh my God, man.
It's messed up.
Pisses me off, can you tell?
I can tell.
I mean, we just love the military, and we worked with them for so many years with
Financial
Peace University, and they're the vast majority of them are young, very young, and are susceptible to this kind of thing, and it's harsh. It's really harsh.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, your money, your work, your relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He and I will be helping you, if you want the help, with any of those areas. You jump in. The phone number, 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Sierra starts us off this hour in Tacoma, Washington. Hi, Sierra. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How about yourself?
Just the same. How can we help?
Well, I've got a question. So my boyfriend is having a lot of money troubles, and his family is going through bankruptcy right now. And I'm wondering how I can help.
Does he live at home?
Yes.
Okay.
He's 17.
17 years old. And obviously you guys are just dating, and so I don't want you to help him financially. Are you saying more emotionally? How do you help right now?
I don't know. I want to do something.
Well, they're already they're going through the bankruptcy process as we speak?
Yeah.
How old are you, Sierra?
16.
Okay. All right. The only way you can actually help in this situation with both of you being minors and not being married is just love and support, emotional support. It's not your responsibility or your place, and it would be inappropriate for you to put money into this scenario. So you would just care about him, care about his mom and dad. They're scared. He's scared. There's a lot of uncertainty around this, even if they're acting like they're not scared. I've been through bankruptcy. It's scary. And so you can just support him. Let me kind of give you a metaphor to think about. All right. How would you help him if his mom was going through chemo with cancer?
I'd be there for him.
Exactly. You really can't help his mom. The doctors have to do that. Whether she makes it or not is not up to you. It's up to God and the doctors. In my metaphor that I just made up here, my storyline that I just made up, obviously that's not happening, or at least I hope it's not. It'd be a horrible choice of metaphors if it was, but so I think it's something similar. The difference with the money thing is it feels like there's something we're supposed to do to like buy food or something like that, and that's not necessary. In bankruptcy, are his mom and dad working? Do they have jobs?
Yes.
Okay, then they have money for food, even in bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have money for lights and water. And depending on the type of bankruptcy and what's going on with the house, there's a strong possibility they'll be staying in the house.
Yeah.
So we got food, shelter, clothing, transportation, utilities. So the basic necessities of life are there, but it's just they've obviously made some mistakes with their money, and now they've got a lot of pain because of it. And so if you can just do that, if you treat it like his mom's got cancer, what would you do? You just be there for him emotionally, because he can't fix his parents' situation, and neither can you.
Yeah, and he's actually having a hard time too, because his vehicle is not working, and he's trying to get it fixed so he can come to work.
Okay. And what does he do when he's at work? What kind of job?
Well, he actually works for my dad. He does. We do farm work.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. What's wrong with his car?
Let's see. Something in the transmission broke, but it's right in the middle of the transmission, so you have to take it all apart to try to fix what it is.
Any of the guys on the farm able to help with that?
Well, it's just me and my dad and my sister and my mom. We don't really know how to do cars a whole lot.
Okay.
Is his income intact still? Your boyfriend?
No.
What does he make when he works at the farm?
Let's see. Works 2 days a week, so he gets about $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Is he in school right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're both homeschooled, so.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good news. All right. Well, I think he's probably going to scrape together a little bit of money, and if your dad, as his employer, wants to help him out a little bit with getting his transmission fixed and let him work that off, that wouldn't be a bad thing. I would do that possibly for one of my employees here, or I might even give them a gift to help them get through a rough patch by buying them a used transmission or something like that. I've done that kind of thing as an employer. I don't know if your dad's in a position to do that. You're not. You're 16. You don't give him money, period.
Okay.
If that's my opinion, and you asked, okay? And I think you've got a big heart, and I think you are mature beyond your years. You carried yourself well on a radio show here, calling in with millions of people listening at 16 years old. You're an impressive young woman.
Yeah. And on top of that, Sierra, it sounds like he needs encouragement right now, because he feels like his parents' mistakes are his mistakes and that their lives are going to become his life. And so the best thing you can do is remind him that it doesn't have to be that way. And as you guys progress in your relationship, if this is a long-term thing or you guys end up getting married, you can change that cycle. You can change that family tree. It is possible. And the fact that you're calling in gives me a lot of hope that you have a heart to want to change this. So you're doing great. Be there for him, but know that you can't change their situation.
Yeah, and if your dad, again, wants to step in and help him with getting the car fixed or getting a beater car or got an old pickup on the farm that you can get started and let him drive it until he can get his car fixed, or some way like that to give him a little direct help on the car situation only, that's fine. But that's your dad's call, it's not requirement. It would be an act of generosity on your dad, an optional act on your dad's part. But George is exactly right. I think you remind him that every one of us that have parented or that have parents and most of us have parents, have the idea that we can make better decisions than they did in the next generation. And that, thank goodness, is true. Thank goodness you have the option of making better decisions than your parents did. And that's a universal human thing, that we all have that ability. So I think you're going to be great. I appreciate your heart and appreciate you checking in.
It's a powerful why. A lot of the people on the debt-free stage, some of their whys were, I wanted to do things differently than how I was raised.
Yep, absolutely. Well done. Well done. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
It's happening in 1 week. You have 6 days left to get the deal. In 1 week, the Baby Steps Millionaire book will be shipped to your house. Your bookstores, you will begin to see it on the shelves, and we are so excited about this book. It's the first book I've done in 8 years. The last one I did with my daughter Rachel Cruz. Smart Money, Smart Kids was a #1 best-selling book. And so we're excited to show you how to become a millionaire using the baby steps without any question. The proof is in the book. We're going to prove it to you with math. We're going to prove it to you with experience. We're going to prove it to you with research. We're going to prove it to you that you can do this and that you should do this. And we're going to walk you through it. The Baby Steps Millionaire book. See, I lost everything. I had to start completely over. And I'm so dumb I had to do it twice. So I know you can be a millionaire. And it's an important thing to have a goal with your finances. So if you want to pre-order your copy of Baby Steps Millionaires today at RamseySolutions.com, you can do that. It's only $20 if you pre-order it, and you get over $100 worth of items added to it. The Baby Steps Millionaires audiobook and ebook. The Legacy Journey audiobook and ebook will be sent to you immediately. The Ramsey Smart Tax filing for your federal taxes is completely free and included, and a 30-day free trial to Ramsey Plus, which is, sets you up for Financial Peace University. It sets you up for Every Dollar, the app, to show you exactly how to become a Baby Steps millionaire. And George and Rachel and I will be doing a free live stream next Thursday, a week from this Thursday, January the 13th, called Building Wealth in 2022.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. And you're going to, this is not just a pitch for the book. You're really going to show people and talk about trending topics like NFTs and crypto and nothing down real estate and inflation. These are the things that are on people's minds right now. And so we want to address it head on and say, hey, we know this is what's going on, but here's how you can actually build wealth the right way and not listen to your broke brother-in-law tell you about how you need to put all your money in crypto.
Yeah, and believe me, it's out there. And so, we're going to help you. It's not just about trashing something. It's about showing you step by step a proven plan of how to win. It's how ordinary people became millionaires and how you can too. It's that simple. How you can become wealthy. And not become wealthy so that you're a wealthy jerk. Become wealthy so you have options in your life. So you have dignity, so you can retire with dignity, so you can change your family tree, so you can help others with outrageous generosity. These are the reasons to build wealth. John's with us in Sacramento. Hey, John, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and George. I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Sure.
I'll start off with my general question, which is I have a $45,000 bonus I'll be getting this month, and I'm trying to figure out if I should put it towards our mortgage completely or divide it up into putting into some mutual funds in addition. The general information about us is my wife and I are 34 years old. We have one child and one on the way.
Yay!
Yeah, very exciting. Boy and a girl. And our take home after taxes and putting 15% into retirement after both of those is $8,500 a month. And we have $100,000 in the bank, $70,000 in our retirement accounts, and we're debt free except for our house. And so I'm just trying to game plan. We have $200,000 left to pay off on our house, and we have a plan that we want to implement to pay off our house in the next 6 years by the time we're 40, which we can do. But trying to figure out if I should.
How big is your bonus?
That we're $45,000.
And you got $100,000 in the bank, and you make what? You make 85. So you make $140,000 a year?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me get this straight. What's the $100K doing in the bank?
We were stockpiling money for a long time until we pivoted to recently to trying to put a bunch more money into our retirement instead.
Okay. Well,
So
you've got $200K on the mortgage.
Part of something we should change.
Yeah, you've got no debt, right? Except the house.
Yep.
Yeah. And you've got $145,000.
Do you have any? Do you have any money other than the $100,000, like for an emergency fund?
The $100,000 would, include
the
our
emergency
month
fund.
emergency,
Okay.
but we also have $75,000 in retirement account.
Yeah. So what do you think your emergency fund should be?
For 6 months, assuming that we live slimly for that time, if we needed it, it would be about $30,000.
Okay.
So you got 70 left plus the 45. So you're looking at 115 you could use towards this house.
Yeah.
Leaving you with 85K on the mortgage.
So you're debt free in 2 years, not 6 years.
Sure.
I'm excited thinking about that.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Admittedly, I think my wife and I like stuffing a lot of money under the pillow, so to speak. But that's a habit we're currently trying to break, which is part of the reason why I'm calling.
Well, it's not a bad habit. I'll just tell you that the reason that you're doing that is the security gland, and down in your belly is telling you I feel secure when I do that. And I will tell you, as someone who's done both, either put money under the pillow or paid off my house, that paying off your house gives you much more satisfaction for the security gland than the pillow does. You know how you kind of feel if you had $200,000 under the pillow?
Sure.
If you'll 2x that feeling, that's the way it's going to feel when you pay off your house. Paying off your house is even more cool for your security gland than your pillow is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't know that until you do it, but that's coming for you. I can see that in your future, and that's what I want for you, so that you can go become very wealthy. Now, you need to start putting 15% of your income away into retirement steady as a part of your 401k, but that's a part of a budget, not a part of a lump sum thing.
Right. You said you're already doing that?
And we started doing that. Yeah, we started doing that a couple of years ago.
Oh, I missed that. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah, so I'm with George.
And
I'm with George. Let's put
after that.
Yeah, let's put $130,000 or something like that on this house, and then let's line up and knock off that other $70,000, making $140,000. I don't know, 2 years you're debt free, right?
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you're sitting on $50,000 with no payments in the world, and you make $140,000. Your life's pretty dadgum good, man. You're doing well. Way to go. Oh, and the baby's on the way. Woohoo! Yeah, life is great.
Yeah. Not too shabby, that's for sure.
Now, I will tell you this: if you pay off your house and you hate being debt free, you can go get a mortgage.
They'll let you.
So I've heard from many.
I think there's a little, you can get paralyzed with all the decisions. Well, I could do this, and I could put it in mutual funds, and I could do this. And what I love about the baby steps is it just filters everything and gives you this clear view of how to approach money. And for me, that's pay off the house first, and then you can invest.
Yeah, and it's exactly right. And he's got a great question. And your point about the baby steps is this. It is the fastest, easiest way to become a millionaire, which is the underlying question. Not that I need to be a millionaire, okay? But the fastest, easiest way to wealth, okay? So that I can do all the things that wealth will do, like we were talking about a minute ago. But the fastest, easiest way is important. If the fastest, easiest way was put some in mutual funds, I would do that. What's the fastest, easiest, surest, most proven way? 15% of your income into retirement. Be funding your kids' college fund, baby step 5. 6 is pay off your house. As soon as the house is paid off, max out all your retirement, and you can save like a crazy person, and you've got all kinds of cash flow and wiggle room in your life to do. And
that's what people
not only have enjoyment, but also do incredible investing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about the fact that if you don't have a house payment, then you have all of the cash flow. And with all of that, you can invest all of it if you want to.
And all of it's like all of it.
And then you can become a millionaire times 2 or 3.
You know how fast you become a millionaire without a house payment? Oh my God, the math is
lightning
mind-boggling.
0 to 60.
It's the fastest, easiest, most sure way to wealth. Follow these baby steps. That's why we wrote Baby Steps Millionaire, to go with the Total Money Makeover, with financial peace. It's this path that is very clear and very proven. And we get to talk about it every day. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Stephen and Casey are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave.
Doing great.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Arlington, Texas.
All right. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$180,000 in 3 years, 11 months.
Woo! Love it. Love it, love it. What was your range of income during that time?
Started out, we were around 120, and then we peaked a little over 170, and we backed off a little bit, and we're down to about 150 now.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a firefighter.
Uh-huh.
I am a nurse, but now staying home mostly with our babies.
There's the back off a little bit, and you had the opportunity to put some wood on the fire, I'm sure, and work some OT lately.
Yes.
No question about that, and that helped push this through. What kind of debt was the 180?
Well, this one was on me. We had a Home Depot credit card. Student loans. We paid off a vehicle, new windows that we put on the house, and then we paid off
the house.
The house.
Woo! Looking at you guys. Well done. Yes. So fabulous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Man, that is neat, neat, neat. I love it. Well, congratulations. We're proud of you. Very cool. What started this journey 3 months and 11 years ago?
We, by accident, had a true $0 budget. At the end of the month, we had no money. And I was always moving money back and forth to cover the bills because the bills and the paychecks never lined up. And so I figured that the obvious problem was we weren't making enough money. So I was bouncing around on YouTube trying to figure out how to make more money. I was looking at doing rental homes, and that just didn't sound right. And then I kind of sort of landed on this weird bald guy on the internet who was talking about paying off your debt. And I just started binge watching your videos.
Wow, just like that. Okay,
And it had been slowly building for us. We just kept moving money, and I was always calling him and saying, are we okay if I go to the grocery store this week? Do we need to wait? And it was literally paycheck to paycheck. And I had been out of nursing school. I was working more and more shifts.
Yeah, you got big-time careers. You're making $100,000 plus.
Spending time away from our babies.
Yeah.
And yet the math was not I'm like, okay, we should be adding money, not taking money away. And it's not adding up. And the moment that really got me was I called him one day. I said, I need to go to the store to buy groceries. It was a Tuesday. And he's like, hold on a second. And he did the math and he said, no, you're going to have to wait till Friday. And that just as a mom just really hit me hard. I'm like, I need to buy food for our babies.
That's not okay.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
And for me, it stemmed from a childhood where money was always a stress in our house. And that really hit those security buttons hard. And I was like, I'm not going to do this with my children. Like, something has to change. And he came home and he's like, I found this guy and I think we're going to get out of debt. And I said, okay. And he goes, but I had a speech.
I had the whole thing planned out. And literally walked in the door and said, we should pay off our debt. She goes, let's do it. I was like,
so you're ready to fight. You're ready to, here's why we need to do this.
He's ready to convince. He had a persuasive speech
I had it all
laid out. He'd been practicing it at the fire hall.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Wow. And you were like, no, I'm ready. We're good. Let's go.
It was game on at that point.
We paid off the Home Depot credit card that day.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we binged watched YouTube like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. And that was the only place you connected to us.
We got the book. We read the book. And I mean, literally.
Total Money Makeover
We
book.
would put the kids to bed every night and we'd say, you ready to get your DDD? And we call it our daily dose of Dave. And we would just, I mean, it was like we couldn't get enough information. And we just learned from everybody else and from what you said. And I mean, it was just, I mean, we still play the podcast in our kitchen when we're cooking dinner. And our 10-year-old walks by the other day and he goes, budget.
That's a pretty good impression.
I said, that's right, buddy.
Yeah. That's right, man. Changed your little family tree.
That's right.
This food you're eating here, buddy, this is because we've been doing this. Yeah. I like it. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right. What advice have you got to someone who's right where you were? It's Tuesday, they want to buy groceries, and they look at the account and say, we got to wait till Friday when the check comes in. I've had it. What do they need to do? What are the things you guys did? You say, we did these 3 things and it made all the difference.
Well, the first thing is that being humble and admitting that the way you've been doing things is wrong. I think that's the toughest part, is people don't like to admit they're wrong. And then it might seem like the plan is so far out. Like for us, it was 4 years, and 4 years in the future seems like it's forever away, but 4 years in the past seems like it was yesterday. It really isn't that long.
Ooh.
That's good.
Ooh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. I mean, that is true. Times go really, really fast. I mean, I'm getting old. It's like decades feel like they just went by, you know?
Because your grandbabies are growing up now. You're going, gosh, time's passing.
Well, I look at that house over there and I go, I remember that house when I was a kid. Wait a minute, that house is 50 years old. That's ridiculous, you know? That kind of stuff. It goes fast. The past goes fast. And you're going to live the 4 years anyway. You might as well do something with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the keys are... It's going to go. It's not as hard as it sounds. It's going to go faster than you think it's going to. What's the other keys?
It's a head game. You know, there was nothing that anybody could have said to either of us to make us stop, because we both were in agreement, and that's all we needed was each other.
Nothing's going to stop them.
Well, the crazier thing for us is, you know, like any couple, we have our arguments. We never really fought over money, but, you know, we'd have our fights. And then when we were on this program and we were just hammering it, like, the fights, like, we didn't fight about anything. We were on board with anything with the kids, anything with the house.
It strengthened our marriage. Absolutely.
Well, you got a common goal, and we said, okay, we're going to set this aside for the common goal. We're going to live like no one else, so later we can live and give like no one else.
And now when people make fun of me for having 5 kids, I'm like, yeah, but we have a paid-for house, and they're going to college free. So, you know.
House and everything.
Dang, she just dropped the mic on all of them.
Yeah, there's
talk?
that. Got to answer for that, do you?
She said, come at me, bro.
How you like me now?
So what's the house worth?
$370.
Woo! Way to go.
We're Just shy. He ran the numbers. You want to say?
Oh yeah, we did our net worth before we came here, and we're almost baby step millionaires.
975.
All right, 975.
Yeah, we're right there.
Oh, we're giving you a pass at 975. We're calling it. You didn't know, but the stock market went up today.
Just now.
So your mutual funds went up 25,000 today.
Awesome. There you go.
I just declared it. Congratulations!
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Paid for house, baby steps millionaires. How old are you?
I'm 43.
I'm 38.
And 5 kids.
5 kids. Wow. And a dog.
And a dog.
You can't do it with a large family. Dave Ramsey stuff doesn't work with a large family. Shut up!
They just took away America's excuses right there.
Yeah, you guys just mic dropped on all of them, man. This is so great. Well done.
Thank you.
So, how does it feel to be a millionaire at 40 years old?
It's surreal.
There's
no stress. Well, except for 5 kids. There's no money stress.
Badger. Yeah, that kid, that one, yeah.
We've kind of been so gazelle intense. I told them it's like that movie Finding Nemo when they finally escape from the fish tank and they're all floating in the ocean in little bags and they're like, now what?
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, that's us.
Now what do we do?
Just floating in the ocean.
So fun. So fun. Well done, you guys. We're very proud of you. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires to celebrate that you hit that milestone as well. An advanced copy, because the book actually comes out next week, and we'll give you a copy. You are truly the epitome of a Baby Steps millionaire. Very, very well done. Good stuff. And we're proud of you, heroes. Excellent job. Copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and disrupt someone else's world that's in the middle of this and needs their world disrupted. That's what we're here for, to cause a holy ruckus. That's our plan around here. So, well done. You guys are amazing. I'm honored to talk to you. Stephen and Casey, Fort Worth, Texas, $180,000 paid off in 3 years and 11 months, making $120 to $170, house and everything. And oh, by the way, Baby Steps Millionaires. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Oh. And you're driving along the road listening to this, wondering if you too can do this. And the answer, George?
You can. Simple as that.
Pretty simple answer. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, John 15:16. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. Dale Carnegie said, develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Amen and amen. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jonathan is in Houston, Texas. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you to the both of you, and good afternoon.
Afternoon. How can we help?
Yes, sir. So recently, my wife and I just got married back in December, which is great. And to give you some context, we have we are both debt-free. We have a fully funded emergency fund, and we're following the baby steps, which is great. And we live with my parents. So as you can see, we are motivated to buy a home, and we are wanting to stick within the parameters that you provide, being the 15-year fix and the 4th of our take-home. And we are looking around, but we find ourselves not finding a home that fits our needs. So we've inquired about a grant that's being offered here in the Houston area, and with me being an employee of a national bank, that comes along with some perks. But even with all that stuff, we're still not finding ourselves with a home that we want to fall in love with and make the big purchase.
How old are
So
you?
my question to you is, what should we do?
How old are you?
I am 26 and my wife is 29.
And what's your household income?
Gross is about 120.
Okay. And how much do you have saved for a down payment?
Not much. Again, we have a fully funded emergency fund. I would say maybe after that, I would have just under 10 grand possibly. So we wouldn't have enough for a 20% down payment, maybe not even 10%. And like I said, we are living with our parents in the meantime.
I got you.
With my parents, I should say.
Yeah, I got you. And you just got married the other day.
December of last year, yes, sir. December 14th.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
All right. I'm just making sure I know which December. Okay. All right.
Got it.
I don't know that it matters, but I'm just curious. Okay. So,
Sure.
well, George, you can chime in. You just got married. What would you do? I mean, you got married a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I would. If this is going to be a year or two away, I'm going to move out and rent somewhere. That's my take. That's just going to give me a feeling like I'm actually married and like an adult and stuff. And if it's a real short period of time and you guys need this, it's okay. But I don't think a long-term plan is to live with the parents. So how fast could you save up 20% on a house that you guys like? Because I heard you say fall in love with, and it feels like you're looking for this forever home. And the truth is, it's just a box. And find something that suits your needs that you really, really need. But you don't need to find this dream home right now at 26, newly married.
Got it. Well, one of the things with the grant that we're getting is that we have to stay in the home for 5 years, and we both.
What kind of? Whoa! Stop! What kind of grant?
It's a grant that's being provided here for Houston residents. It's for
first-time home buyers.
Correct. It's a $15,000 grant.
I'll pass.
And it doesn't affect. I'm sorry.
I'll pass. No, thank you.
Okay. Alrighty then. Well, anyway.
You know why?
We're still obviously.
You know why? Because you got to live in the house 5 years. You're 26 years old. You've just been married 20 minutes. It's impossible for you to plan exactly what's going to happen for 5 years. For a lousy 15 grand, you make 120. You're going to let these people control your life? No, thank you. The tail's wagging the dog, man. So if I'm you, I'm looking for an apartment right now. Get a cheap apartment and save money for a year, and like a crazy person, set up your life and then go make your down payment on your house.
The truth is, there's no rule that says you have to own a house as soon as you get married. And I know you guys feel like, well, this is going to make us feel like adults. But right now, you're living with your parents. So go rent for a year, figure out what area you want to live in, what house you want, and be diligent about saving up that down payment. I want you guys to save up 20% and avoid the PMI. And you know the parameters, so you're going to follow that. And that's going to really help you guys get on the right foot with this marriage, even if that's 2 years from now. I'm okay with you renting for 2 years if it means getting into a house the right way.
Yeah. So, guys, let me just tell you, we work with there's a lot of government grant things out there, and there are a few times that a government grant has a few enough strings attached to it that it's okay to take it. But when we hear government grant, all of us initially, until you've had a bad experience or two with them, until you've had that experience, you would say, oh, it's just free money. But it's free money that comes with handcuffs and shackles. The dumbest one I ever got involved with was I was doing renovations in my 20s when I was buying and selling houses, and I bought a historic house in a historic area, one of these regentrified areas where we're going to, turn the hood into a neighborhood again, that kind of thing. And the beautiful old home. And there was a historic grant available from the Historic Society.
I thought you got that one wrong, but I realized it was
and it was $5,000, which in 1980s, $5,000 was some money. It was more than $15,000, right?
Yeah.
And so, but the grant stipulated that the house had to have been put back the way it was originally built to be historically accurate. Great, that's what I was planning to do anyway. Then Codes comes along and says you have to put a rail on the front porch because since this house was built, we figured out people fall off of front porches and break their face. So you cannot have a front porch this high without a thing. And I said, great, go tell the Historic Society that you're requiring this. And I could not get these two government people. That was nice. I cleaned that up.
That was
considerable.
on the fly.
These two government people to come into agreement and in alignment, because I didn't care whether they put a rail up or not. I just wanted the free $5,000. I spent so much time and energy. I finally just told them stick it and put the rail on the porch and said, I don't need your hysteric society money, and you guys are nuts. You're requiring something that the law doesn't allow in order to give a grant. Now, that's just asinine. But that's pretty typical when you get involved in government grants, and you're going to get your foot caught in the golden handcuffs or your ear or your neck or something when you're screwing with these dadgum grants. And occasionally there's one that doesn't have enough nooses built onto it that it's worth doing. But, man, I tell you what, we've looked at them in business. We've looked at them remember PPP loans?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a grant, wasn't it? No, it wasn't. It was a loan. And some of you are paying that puppy back now after we told you not to take it. And everybody got real quiet about that whole subject, didn't they? Nobody talking about that much. But we were yelling and screaming in the microphone not to take that they were going to grab you guys around the throat. And that's exactly what's happened to a bunch of you business people out there.
Yeah.
You now have a big butt federal loan.
So the lesson is if it has an if or a but attached to it,
it's
stay
a government.
Away.
It's a government butt. That's what it is. Yeah. If someone says I'm from the scariest words in the English language, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's scary language right there. That should scare the pee-wadding out of you, man. So enough me railing on the poor young guy. He's just trying to get a house. Yeah. But I'm not picking on you, Jonathan. You're a good man. Congratulations on your marriage. Go get you an apartment, save you some money, buy a house, son. Don't try to trick your way into this. And for God's sakes, George is right. There's a stupid house. There's one on every corner. Get you a house that you like, but there's no such thing as a forever home because your forever changes. You're forever changing. You had a forever home until you got 2 dogs. Now it's not a forever home anymore. Then we got 3 kids. Oh, my God, it's for sure not a forever home. And then we're going to move again into a bigger house and call that our forever home. But it's not really your forever home because your life changes and goes through seasons. So you're going to go through seasons of change with your house. That's just very few people buy a home. I mean, statistically, it's got to be less than 5% and stay in it their entire lives.
Yeah.
It's just almost no one.
But newlyweds, they get starry-eyed about the home buying process.
Exactly. And we want you to get a house. We just don't want the house to get you. So there you go. And we certainly don't want the government to get you. Oh, that puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks, George Camel. Thanks, James and Kelly in the booth. I'm Dave Ramsey. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.